All right, so you're considering to move to Kelowna in the Okanagan, and you've already seen me tour through all these town cities in this beautiful BC Valley. But you're gonna wanna watch this whole video. This is going to be the most comprehensive video I've ever done. I'm gonna be breaking down all the different towns, cities, and neighborhoods that make up the Okanagan to help you decide which one is going to fit your lifestyle perfectly and help make the move as smooth as possible. So let's get right into it. All right, and to start off, we're gonna head up north to Vernon, British Columbia. Vernon, British Columbia is the second largest city in the Okanagan. It's about 40 minutes north from Kelowna, and it is the entry gateway into the Okanagan Valley. It has a population of just over 40,000 people, and it is roughly 95 square kilometers in size, and it's surrounded by three beautiful lakes, those being Lake Okanagan, Swan Lake to the north, and of course my personal favorite, everyone's personal favorite. If you've seen my videos, you've heard me talk about this, Lake Kalamalka, which is one of the most beautiful lakes, not just in the Okanagan, not just in BC, but in the entire world. Now, if you know nothing about Vernon, you know nothing about the Okanagan. Really, the Okanagan is made up of several towns and cities, the three main cities being Vernon, Kelowna, and Penticton. And Vernon, I would say, is on the spectrum of the more quiet and peaceful cities out of the three. That's not saying it doesn't have anything available in terms of housing or amenities or action or access to nature. I just find that the north has a little bit more of a slower pace of life, which if that's something you're looking into, this place is going to be perfect for you. I'd say the main things that Vernon has going for it is the fact that it has incredible access to nature. I mean, I just talked about the three beautiful lakes that you can go swim, do any water sport activities, and not to mention you're in the Okanagan, so you're surrounded by the Monashi Mountains and beautiful access to nature, including hiking trails, walking trails, and of course, less than 40 minutes out of town, you're gonna be hitting that Silver Star Mountain Resort, which is one of the premier ski hills in the valley. You kind of always compare the two. You compare Silver Star and Big White, and the major difference between Silver Star and Big White is Silver Star is a little more quieter. It's what most people consider kind of the skiers, snowboarders type mountain. Big White is more of a vibrant, fun community, an amazing mountain with amazing runs. But if you're looking to have less of a line and you're just purely focused on the skiing and snowboarding access to things, Silver Star may be an incredible option for you. Not to mention that in the summer, it turns into a mountain bike park. And in terms of mountain bike parks, it's gotta be the premier bike park in the entire area. Where Vernon can be a little bit lacking is probably its more city-like amenities in terms of a bustling downtown core, lots of action, live music, festivals, and that sort. Not that Vernon doesn't have those, but if it's going to be lacking in any department, I would say that's what you would kind of be missing if you move to Vernon. But the place Vernon absolutely reigns supreme is its housing affordability, comparatively in the Okanagan anyways. You know, in Vernon in the north or Penticton in the south, you're going to be looking at a price difference for homes around $200,000 to $250,000 less. So if you're on a tight budget, Vernon is definitely going to be a fantastic option for you. Plus, not to mention, it has everything you need. There's options for condos, townhouses, single family homes, manufactured homes, luxury estates. Vernon has it all. And Vernon also has a diverse range of neighborhoods that can really suit any lifestyle. The median sold home price here in the last 180 days is $765,000. And there's much more affordable options when you're looking at condos and townhouses or manufactured homes, but that is going to be the median home price for single family homes. And that's what I'm going to base every single city and town off of. You're also going to have a ton of schooling options. There's a lot of local parks in the city. And if you're going to be heading north to the Shuswap or heading towards Calgary, Vernon is going to be the closest in proximity to get you to Highway number 1. All right, so let's quickly look at a few of my favorite neighborhoods in Vernon. So as you scroll in here, this is Vernon and the greater Vernon area. It kind of ends here at Swan Lake. You have Lake Okanagan to the west here. And just to the south, you have Kalamalka. So some of my favorite neighborhoods in Vernon. So when you look at it, the downtown core in Vernon is just off of 32nd and 30th here. And like I said, there is not a crazy amount in terms of the downtown core. You know, there's coffee shops, there's tiny little shops there, but it doesn't have that separate downtown feel like Kelowna does. I mean, the Highway 97 runs right through the middle of downtown, which To be fair, Kelowna South and North is split up by Highway 97 as well. It feels a little more separate. It feels like you have an actual downtown in Kelowna, where Vernon is really jumbled up with all the streets, neighborhoods, and the highway. So this is the center of Vernon here, and some of my favorite neighborhoods. I mean, technically not a neighborhood of Vernon, but it's part of Vernon's greater area is the Coldstream neighborhood. Coldstream is an absolutely beautiful place. The affordability is probably on the higher end of home prices in Vernon. That's because you have so many homes and places that are right along Kalamalka Lake here. Some beautiful estates, some townhouse areas as well that give you incredible views of the lake. It's a very quiet, peaceful community. It's increasing in its popularity for sure, because you do have some more spread out areas with acreages in this area, and then you also have the luxury estates and homes that give you incredible views of the lake. And also with that, which is actually part of Vernon, is the Middleton Mountain area. Homes built up all along this mountain here, and again, you get some incredible panoramic views depending on where you are. You may be looking at Lake Okanagan, you may be looking at Swan Lake, you may be looking at Kalamalka, but really cool neighborhood, and definitely one of my top choices in Vernon. And it's right at the southern entrance to Vernon, so you have amazing access to jump on Highway 97 and get down to Kelowna following that. So that's one of my favorite areas. And then also this area to the east of, just to the east of downtown, is the East Hill area. And it's a very, very unique area. It's filled with these old wartime homes, and it's like, to me, an expanded version of Kelowna's Abbott Street, if you know what that is. Filled with very old character homes, heritage homes, and yeah, some of these homes are very funky, and we're talking like 1940s to 1950s, a lot of these places. So there's going to be some funky things in terms of buying if nothing's been remediated yet, which would be pretty crazy at this point, but unique, not cookie cutter, and just a really cool, funky neighborhood. Of course, in this area here, you have the BXs, which is, to me, I'm comparing everything to Kelowna, but it's like Kelowna Southeast. You have a lot more land, a lot more acreages. It's very spread out. Obviously, Silver Star just to the northeast here. And then another one of my favorite neighborhoods is the Bella Vista area. Here, again, you get some great views, especially as you travel down here and get closer to Lake Okanagan. You're gonna get some amazing views from your homes. It's built up on a hill, which I really like. I don't like being down on the flats in any place. That's why I live in the Upper Mission, not Lower Mission, but some incredible houses, a very nice, safe community area, and you're gonna have tons of options there too. They have single family homes, they have some condos, and some townhouse options as well. And of course you have the Rise golf course here to the northwest, and there's some homes and properties up on there, and if you've ever golfed at the Rise, you get some spectacular views. Here you have the Okanagan College campus here, and where is it? Oh, the Vernon Jubilee Hospital, which is one of the biggest employers here in Vernon. As you travel down a little more, 25th, one of the largest neighborhoods, and again, comparing it to another neighborhood in Kelowna South, is Okanagan Landing. And Okanagan Landing, to me, is the most diverse neighborhood in Vernon. It's a large area, and it has everything from luxury waterfront estates along this area, to manufactured homes, to townhouses, to condos, to affordable single family homes. This, to me, is going to give you your best range of options for affordability or luxury if that's the route you want to go. But Okanagan Landing is fantastic, and you can also slip through Combinage here and get to the Highway 97, or get to the last little area I'll talk about in the Vernon section, is Predator Ridge. And Predator Ridge to me is like a luxury golf course resort living area. If you wanted to live here, I mean, there's amenity fees because they have some incredible amenities for the people who live here. You got single family homes, townhouses, and condos. The Predator Ridge golf course is renowned here, and it's world renowned. golf course and area. It's absolutely spectacular. There's some amazing hiking trails. You have great access to the highway if you're going to go towards Lake Country or Kelowna. If you want to get to Vernon proper, you can just slip up Commonage and head into town. And then you also have one of the most famous places in the Okanagan, Sparkling Hill Resort, which if you've never been there, you've never heard about it, look it up. It's this luxury spa and resort with tons of steam rooms, spas, swimming pools, restaurants. Like, it's just a beautiful, incredible place. And anyone who's visiting the Okanagan, if you have the time, you have the cash, I always recommend going to check it out and staying there for at least a night just to experience it. It really is incredible. But yeah, those are my top choices for neighborhood in Vernon. Again, there's so many other fantastic areas, but those are kind of my favorite, and that's just a little overview of what Vernon looks like from an aerial view and how you would access different areas, different cities, different towns. So who is Vernon for? To me, Vernon is for somebody who's looking for a quieter lifestyle, looking to get a little more bang for their buck in terms of real estate. You may be a first-time homebuyer and you're looking to get into the housing market. I think Vernon, out of any city on the list, may be your best investment. I think the North Okanagan is growing as the affordability kind of gets out of control or gets a little high in the main areas like Kelowna. I feel that a lot of people are starting to gravitate outward in the Okanagan, and the North Okanagan seems to be the hottest market in terms of central, south, and north for real estate. So if you're looking to get into the housing market, you want something that's going to hold its value and most likely increase, Vernon, I think, is going to be your best option. But don't make your decision yet. That's just the first place we're looking into. Let's travel a little more south towards Kelowna to our next town we're going to discuss. All right, so the next town we're going to talk about is Lake Country, British Columbia. Now, Lake Country is situated in between Vernon and Kelowna, about a half an hour away from Vernon, about 15 minutes away from the top of Kelowna. And Lake Country is a beautiful area. The reason it's called Lake Country, of course, it's like Vernon, sandwiched in between 3 different lakes, from Wood Lake to Kalamalka Lake, and then on the western side they have Lake Okanagan. Vernon is fairly small in terms of populations, with just over 15,000 people currently living there. And Lake Country is broken up into 4 kind of distinct, I shouldn't say distinct, it's broken up into 4 areas. That is Oyama to the northeast, Winfield to probably the southeast, but more like just the south, and then you have Okanagan Center to the southwest, and then at the top there in the northeast section you have Cars Landing. And I say they're not really as distinct in terms of neighborhoods like Vernon or Kelowna, because they used to be 4 separate municipalities that now formed in our Lake Country. And I feel like when a town does something like that, the boundaries and lines kind of get blurred a bit. Now, Lake Country, as well with other of the smaller towns on this list, you're not coming here for its abundance of amenities. You're coming here for its lifestyle, its scenery, its beauty. And Lake Country has all of that. It has some really high-end, distinct premier communities that we'll get into in a minute, but it's also just a beautiful environment. I mean, if you want amenities, you are within 30 minutes to Kelowna's downtown. I mean, to hit up the Costco in Kelowna is nothing to come from Vernon. You're so close to Kelowna's airport. If you want to go to the north for a visit, Vernon is a half an hour away. You can hit up any of the amenities Vernon has. And what Lake Country is going to be abundant is hiking trails, biking trails, lake access, wineries. Lake Country, in terms of the Okanagan, is one of the premier areas for going wine tasting. There's some beautiful wineries and vineyards in this area, from Grey Monk, O'Rourke, Blind Tiger, Arrowleaf, and I mean, you know, the list goes on. To me, Lake Country, it definitely has that slower pace of lifestyle. I mean, there's not too much in terms of action going on in this area. And I really feel like you want to live in a small town, Lake Country is a great option for you. But I will say, you're not coming to Lake Country for its affordability. I mean, when we're going through this list and when I'm getting the median prices of single family homes sold over the last 180 days, Lake Country is actually at the top of the list for most expensive, with a median sales price over the last 180 days of $1,025,000. So although it is a smaller town, it's really started to be synonymous with Kelowna real estate prices. I mean, they're almost one and the same. It used to be you could come to Lake Country and you could get a fantastic discount on homes, which I mean, there still are plenty of affordable options in terms of manufactured homes, more affordable single family homes, townhouses and condos. But for the most part, what Lake Country has a lot of is these incredible waterfront estates that go for multiple millions of dollars. You have a slight downtown area that's going to hit up a few amenities like groceries, coffee shops, a few restaurants, breweries. But like I said, the majority of your amenities are going to likely come from Kelowna because they are so close to it. I wouldn't really say Lake Country has much of a downtown core either, but it has a few schooling options with 3 elementary schools, 1 middle school, 1 secondary school, and 1 post-secondary school. All right, now let's take a look at some of Lake Country's premier communities and notable areas. So just a general overview, this is the heart of Lake Country. Like I said, you have Oyama up here to the northeast, you have Carr's Landing to the northwest, you have Okanagan Center to the southwest, and Winfield occupies the southeast and majorly the south area. Right here you have Woods Lake, you have the brief little strip of land here that has some houses along the Kalamalka side of it. You have Pemwalsh Parkway that goes all along here. I can't remember exactly how far it goes, but it goes up Kalamalka a bit, then connects back with the highway. I mean, a lot of people bike this area, you can walk it. It's a fun little drive along the lake here, and it's pretty beautiful. It actually, you go past Woods Lake too. And then of course you have the largest of the 3 lakes, Lake Okanagan, which stretches all the way down from top of Vernon all the way down to Penticton. So with Lake Country, your downtown core areas, you're going to have some amenities here in Winfield, and then along the Highway 97 you're going to have some areas. You have a ton of single family homes in this area, and the majority of homes in that are going to be on the western side here. You have Pixie Beach, which is an awesome little beach area. And then the majority of the wineries are going to be in this area. And like I said, there's some fantastic options. Let me see if I can even pull up some of the wineries here. Yeah, like I said, there's just so many to choose from, and you can kind of hit the wine trail here and drive through this area, and it really is beautiful. Now, in terms of premier communities, right in this area here, you have the Lakes, which is this incredible, huge master plan community, which it has something for everybody, from beautiful single family homes that are going to give you incredible views to condo options to townhouse options. But it's one of the most, if not the most popular area in Lake Country, because not only does it have that luxury premier element to it, it also has places that are affordable. So that's why I think it's the most popular compared to the other area we're gonna look in. So you have the lakes here, and I guess this would be Oyama. And then another one of the most popular areas, when I can find it, is right here in the Lake Stone community. So Lake Stone, if you've seen my video on Lake Country, it's like a premier luxury resort style living area. I mean, there's an amenity fee here because there are 2 different facilities with tennis courts. One has a pool, barbecue, gym access. Pretty much every home is going to have some type of lake view looking out onto Lake Okanagan. They're all new builds in this area. Some really luxury style homes, some with pools, some without, but honestly, you can't really go wrong at any of the homes in this area. Lake Stone, it's a really cool place to even go and check out. It's incredibly beautiful. It's highly desirable. It's a very expensive area, so yeah, I mean, there's not really those affordable options in this area, but when you go there and you check it out, this high-end master plan community, you really see why it does have the luxury appeal to it. And there's some homes, I know they're very limited, that actually have docks, own personal docks and slips for your boat there. It's kind of very hard to come by. They rarely go for sale, and I know when properties come up for sale that have that boat slip and dock, they go extremely quick. But yeah, these are the 2 main areas with the lakes and Lake Stone. Incredible, the highlights of Lake Country in terms of neighborhood in my opinion, and definitely worth checking out. So who is Lake Country for exactly? To me, it's for people who don't want to be in a major urban area, but want to have extremely close access to all of the amenities. Also, especially for somebody who wants to be either in the heart of wine country or someone who wants to have incredible lake views from their property, and anybody looking for that breathtaking waterfront luxury premier estate. Lake Country is going to have probably the most options in terms of that type of real estate out of any of the places we're going to discuss today. It is a fantastic area. It's definitely worth checking out. It's worth stopping by. But now let's head all the way south and overview our next city. All right, now we are taking this adventure way down south to me, the entrance to the southern Okanagan in Penticton, British Columbia. Now, Penticton is the third largest city in the Okanagan with a population just under 40,000 and a size of just over 41 square kilometers. It is sandwiched between two lakes, that being Lake Okanagan and Skaha Lake. It's about a 40-minute drive to Kelowna and about an hour drive to the southernmost region of the Okanagan in Osoyoos and Oliver. And just after that, you're in the United States. So if you're looking for a place that's going to give you great access to the top of Washington, then Penticton may be a perfect option for you. Now, in terms of the three cities, Kelowna is the center hub. Vernon is to the north. It's a more quiet area. Penticton is definitely, in my opinion, going to be your second best option in terms of a city in the Okanagan that has a lot of vibrancy, a lot of life to it. There's always a ton going on. I mean, the beaches on the Okanagan lakeside and the Skaha lakeside are beautiful, and they're always packed with people, especially in the summer. Penticton, like the majority of the Okanagan, definitely gets very quiet around the winter, but in the summer, there's a lot of activity and energy going on when you go there. Penticton has a very cool little downtown area, some areas with that like almost cobblestone streets, I guess you would call it. Really awesome restaurants and breweries in this area, some amazing cuisine, from great lunch options, amazing breakfast options, some good cultural cuisine, and also some high-end food at some of the amazing wineries. Now, the things to do in Penticton, I mean, they have a ton of parks, some amazing access to nature. Of course, they have two beautiful lakes on each side, so you're gonna have all your water activities. If you're a rock climber, they have the infamous Skaha Bluffs in this area. You don't feel like driving all the way to Big White? Don't worry, you have Apex Ski Hill and Resort, which is about 40 minutes from Penticton. And now, it's in terms of Big White and Silver Star, Apex is definitely third on the list for sure. It's a lot smaller, but it's a lot quieter too. I've never personally skied there. I have friends and family that I know have checked that area out, and it's worth checking out from what I hear. I heard it's a really fun place to hit the hill, and it's not as packed as Big White or even Silver Star can get during the busy time. Again, Penticton is going to have everything in terms of options for real estate, and you're also getting that discount of being far enough away from Kelowna with a median home price of $757,000. So still relatively affordable in terms of the Okanagan. You also have some fantastic neighborhoods in this area that we'll get into in a minute. If you're looking to have some fun in the summer, you can float down the Penticton Channel, which goes from kind of Okanagan Lake all the way down to Skaha Lake. And you're about 40 minutes away from Kelowna if you do want to hit up the bigger city. But I mean, Penticton has so much going on with Peach Fest in the summer. The Southern Okanagan Event Center gets some incredible music, sports, even comedians in this area. And if you're looking for my opinion on my favorite, or what I think to be the best thing to do in Penticton in this area, is definitely to hit up the Naramata bench and go wine tasting. Naramata to me is by far my personal favorite area to go wine tasting. It's so unique and beautiful. You're on the eastern side of Lake Okanagan, literally minutes outside of Penticton, and you're on this windy road that goes through this beautiful countryside with, I mean, 20, 30, 40 plus wineries in this area. So there's unlimited options, from great wines to great food to amazing scenery. I always highly recommend. I'll never stop talking about it, because I think if you're in this area and you don't check it out, you're definitely missing out. Now let's look at an overview of the city and discuss some of the more notable areas and neighborhoods in Penticton. All right, so here is the overview of Penticton. Like I said, sandwiched in between Lake Okanagan and Skaha Lake. You head down south, that's where you're gonna hit up Osoyoos and Oliver. And you got the border right here's Osoyoos Lake, Osoyoos, and then you got the border to the United States right there. roughly about an hour, I would say. Obviously, everything depends on traffic. For the most part, it is, I believe, a 2-lane highway. But yeah, you have some large beaches here in Skaha Lake Beach, and then you have the Okanagan Lake Beach on this side. You have the channel that runs, as you can see, all the way down through here that a lot of people float in the summer. It's very cool. You have the Penticton Regional Hospital. This is the downtown core of Penticton with, like I said, some amazing restaurants, breweries. And then as you pass through, one of the notable neighborhoods that I think is worth mentioning is the Uplands and Redlands area, which you hit up just on your way out of Penticton to the Naramata municipality. And then all along here, you have Naramata Road, an incredible amount of wineries, all the way up to Naramata's little town, I guess. It's barely a town, but all along this area, like, let's see, let's pull it up here. And that's like, it's not showing half of the wineries for sure, but you can just see from a brief view of how many there are. Some of the other areas I really like, so Penticton, like Kelowna, is Penticton North and Penticton South. The Penticton South area, like Kelowna's South area, has a lot of versatility in terms of their real estate, from single family homes to condos to townhouses, and some really affordable options, especially in this area here. You have the West Bench, Sage Mesa, and Husala area along the northeastern side of Penticton. Here, just some really cool, unique homes, some incredible views from these homes. This is probably my favorite Penticton-based neighborhood. And Penticton, kind of like, I wouldn't say like Lake Country, but it does have distinct neighborhoods, but they're kind of blended together. They don't have as firm boundaries as like a Vernon or a Kelowna, but still you have the West Bank, Sage, Mesa, Husala area. They kind of combine all those upland redlands, Columbia Duncan in this area, and the Wilts Valley View in this area. Wilts Valley View is also a very cool area with some higher end properties and some incredible views as well. Penticton Regional Airport, I mean, you're very limited on what you can fly to and from in this area, but it's nice that you have that option. And some of the bigger box stores are just off of the highway in the Penticton South industrial area. So that is the slight overview of Penticton. It's beautiful, it's awesome, and a great option to consider. So who do I feel Penticton is for? To me, it's somebody who, well, one, wants to be deep enough in the Okanagan. You know, Penticton isn't going to have the best access to the highway leading you to Vancouver, although you can take the southern route, the Princeton way, which Penticton is a bit closer to. But still, you're deep in the Okanagan, so you're really in the heart of things. You're closer to Osoyoos and Oliver than Vernon in the north and getting to Highway number 1, but still, it's an area for people who want a little more affordability, but don't want to sacrifice that energy and action that you get with the bigger city like Kelowna. Of course, it has all the access to nature. It has some incredible wineries. And like I said, out of the 3 cities, Penticton is definitely second on the list in terms of action and vibrancy to the city. So that's who I would believe that this area is for. Now let's travel just a little bit up the highway to our next location. All right, so we just moved a little bit north from Penticton and we're now in Summerland, British Columbia. To me, it's the biggest hidden gem in the valley, one of the least talked about towns, but arguably the most beautiful town in the entire region. Summerland is on the smaller side. It's not our smallest town. Looking at the kilometers squared of the area, it's 74 kilometers squared. That is generous, I would say, what they give Summerland. The actual town of it and where the houses are is a lot smaller than that, with a population of just over 12,000 people. You are about 15 minutes max from Penticton, and you're about 30 to 45 minutes to West Kelowna, always depending on traffic. For the most part, it's 2-lane from Summerland to Kelowna, the West Kelowna. It doesn't have a ton of amenities, but it has this really cute downtown core with, I don't know, it's such a unique feel. You really have to go there to experience it, but you're in this small, almost like movie-like town. Like it seems fake because it's that quaint. You have mountains surrounding you. You have this peaceful little town with a tight-knit community of very friendly people. You have Lake Okanagan at your fingertips with some homes in some of the areas having incredible views of Lake Okanagan. You have some fantastic options for restaurants, wineries, and breweries. And you have a few schools and a few amenities, but any of the larger amenities that are gonna fill your grocery shopping needs and all of that are going to either be in Penticton, or you travel to West Kelowna, which isn't too far. Summerland also isn't the cheapest place in terms of real estate. It does have various options like everywhere else, but the median home price for single family home is just under $900,000 at $894,000. But for the most part, it is a pretty desirable area. Now you have some luxury waterfront winery estates along Lake Okanagan that sell at an incredible price, but there are some quaint starter single family homes, condos, and townhouses just like everywhere else. Some of the notable things of Summerland, like I said, it has some really cool, fun places to eat, cafes, good restaurants. It has wineries like Dirty Laundry, which I always mention when I talk about Summerland, a very fun, cool, unique place to check out, especially if you're heading down to Naramata and you want a quick stop somewhere. Stop at Dirty Laundry, grab some pizza for lunch, experience the winery, get the spiel on the place, and you might also catch a view of the Kettle Valley Steam Railway, which is a very cool thing I've learned recently when I did my tour of Summerland, that you can actually partake in kind of events with the Kettle Valley Steam Railway. They do like a simulated robbery, which I've heard is a lot of fun for people of all ages. Never done it personally, but just looking at the reviews of it, it seems like a pretty cool option. But let's look at a quick overview and I'll kind of explain some of the notable areas of Summerland. Okay, so this is a little overview of Summerland. So yeah, Summerland, you come down from West Kelowna, you hit up Peachland, and then Summerland is in this general area. You have Penticton right here. Directly across the lake, you're gonna have Naramata with those beautiful wineries. So essentially you have four, I wouldn't call them distinct areas, but main areas. You have Summerland Main, Summerland Lower, Trout Creek area, and then all spread throughout here, which is why Summerland is so large, but this is Summerland Rural. You have the main town right here, and this is what I'm talking about when I say picturesque town. This area right here, walking around, I mean, you have its downtown core, I guess you could say, that has some beautiful parks and some great restaurants and cafes. You have, getting a little more south, you have Giant's Head Mountain Park, which is a really cool hiking trail and park that's going to give you wild views of everything up to Kelowna, down to Penticton in terms of views. Not crazy challenging, but it's definitely worth checking out. We did this hike once. It's pretty awesome. It's incredible to have this at your fingertips in your town, but it's definitely one of the biggest attractions in terms of things to do in Summerland. And then the winery, they have, I guess, a bit of a wine trail here. They have the golf club. The wine trail, I don't have the exact area, but it's in this area where they have a few wineries, breweries, and cideries that are worth checking out. And then, of course, in the Trout Creek area, you're gonna have some very nice waterfront properties. And even in the Summerland Lower, you have some properties that give you incredible views here. So close access to amenities, cute, fun, awesome, definitely worth checking out Summerland. Now, who is Summerland for? To me, it's someone who wants that honestly picturesque, perfect town lifestyle with also fairly close access to amenities. I mean, you have Penticton within reach, West Kelowna is not far from you, but you also have the unique ability to go to wineries, breweries, have great places to eat. And I mean, walking around this town, like I said, you feel like you're in a movie. This town is about as close to perfect and cute as a town could possibly be. So someone who's looking for that, Summerland is going to be an amazing option for you. But it's not the only cute small town in the area, so let's travel a little farther north to our next location. But listen, if you're thinking of moving, relocating, you already live here looking to purchase a property in Kelowna or the Okanagan in general, and you want some advice, you want to talk to a relocation specialist and local expert who's going to be able to break down what areas are going to work and match your lifestyle and what areas absolutely aren't, then you got to reach out to me. Call me, text me, email me at the number and information on the screen right now in the description below and pinned in the comments, and I will help you find the best area that's going to match your lifestyle and help you find your dream property. All right, we're almost in West Kelowna and Kelowna, Maine, but we have one quick little stop before we get there, and that is the quaint and the smallest town in the places that we're going to be talking about in this area, and that is Peachland, British Columbia. Peachland is just over 15 kilometers squared with a humble population under 6,000 people. And this, again, it's a every area, every town has its own unique feel and atmosphere to it, and Peachland is no different. Peachland is I think in all the areas we discuss, has the most peaceful, calm, serene atmosphere out of anything. It's like, it does feel like a little retirement community. There's not much going on here, not much to do. You have your little main area off of Beach Ave where you have some cafes, some actually really good restaurants, some parks, and of course, an insane amount of lakefront and beaches. But other than that, it's a very humble place. There's a lot of residential area. I mean, there's some really cool attractions like Hardy Falls, which if you're in the area, I definitely recommend checking out. There's Antlers Beach. Peachland almost feels like a slightly distant suburb of West Kelowna more than a town in itself. It has an elementary school, but anything after elementary, your kids are gonna have to travel to West Kelowna in order to go to school. So I think reasons like that, it has some grocery stores, but you're gonna go for most of your amenities into West Kelowna. I think that's why it's more of a retirement community. It's a slower pace of lifestyle there, and it tends to attract people who can move at that slower pace, you know, people who aren't looking for action. And I'm not saying that for younger people, this isn't an area to check out, but you have to understand things shut down here very early. It's very quiet in the winter. For the most part, for your big need, you're gonna have to go into West Kelowna, but it's also beautiful. Everything is kind of built all along the hillside. So in terms of views or average waterfront incredible views, Peachland is number one to me. I've been to some places showing homes in Peachland where I'm awestruck. Even after seeing tons and tons of houses in the area, I'm awestruck at some of the views you get. You actually get that entire panoramic view where you can see Penticton, you can see Kelowna, you follow the lake through all of it, you get the mountains, you get the beautiful sunset, you get everything. And in terms of just size, it's the smallest, it's the slowest pace, it's very humble and cute in its own way, and I think it's a really special place for sure. The median home price here is $915,000, so a little bit on the higher side, but that's also because there's not much in terms of real estate here, and that's because, you know, there's desirability in this area for sure. There's usually not a ton of active listings, and when you look at the homes here, the view costs a price. So almost every single house here has an incredible view of some sort, and in the Okanagan that definitely comes with a decent price tag. So I think that's why the average home price here is on the higher end. There are some condo and townhouse options. You're definitely limited in Peachland, but even if you're not going to live in Peachland, it's a really awesome place to check out. I don't know if they do their farmers market in Heritage Park anymore, but it's a great place to go on a lazy Sunday afternoon and walk along the beach, grab a coffee at Bliss Bakery, go for a meal at the Guest House, or even to drive around to some of the neighborhoods and check out the homes. I'll quickly give you a little overview from the top side of things of what Peachland really looks like. All right, so this is it. This is Peachland. Just outside of West Kelowna. You're looking at 10 minutes till you get to Peachland. And so yeah, this is the main area. This is Beach Ave, runs along the entire city. I always kind of mark Bliss Bakery as my starting point because this is where I come. I come right off the highway and I park along this area, and then you can walk up Beach Ave, the residential areas, you pass the boat launch. This is where you get to some of the amazing little restaurants they have, like the Gas House there. I know they have a sushi restaurant I haven't checked out. Cibo and Vines, or Chibo and Vines, I don't know how you say that. This is Heritage Park. It's a very beautiful park right along the water. This is where they used to do the farmers market. I'm not sure they do that. You have Antlers Beach just down the way here, right along the highway, and then you have the access to Hardy Falls here, which Hardy Falls, if you see my Peachland video, definitely worth checking out. The salmon run here, it's really cool to see, and I mean, in terms of a hike, you're talking 10 minutes of flat hiking. Very easy and manageable for anyone of any age level. And realistically, that's kind of it with Peachland. That's a nice thing about it. There's not too much to discuss. That's what I mean. It's peaceful, tranquil, no hustle and bustle, and amazing views from some of these properties along the hillside here, and close access to West Kelowna. So who is Peachland for? To me, Peachland is for, honestly, I don't like to limit the type of person that is right for a certain area. And again, a younger person, Peachland can still be an amazing option. You're just not getting that insane affordability. You know, if you're looking at affordability, you may as well be in West Kelowna. Peachland to me is for someone who's looking for a really slow, quiet paced lifestyle, not much action, no real hustle and bustle, but you have this beautiful, serene environment. Of course, if you want to get some amenities, you can just head up to West Kelowna or even into Kelowna and get what you need done. But it's definitely geared towards a retirement age and older demographic. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. So that's Peachland. Now let's finally check out the major cities of West Kelowna and Kelowna. All right, now we're finally into the Kelowna, starting off with West Kelowna. Obviously, the west side of the bridge is considered West Kelowna. West Kelowna's population is around 36,000 people. The size of it is around 123 kilometers squared, and it is Kelowna's other half. I mean, realistically, when I look at Kelowna, I think West Kelowna and Kelowna are one, but since we're breaking down each city and section and neighborhood, yada yada, let's separate the two so we can get a good overview of them. Now, West Kelowna, Kelowna's other half, it's going to encompass the slower side of life when you're looking at the Kelowna things. West Kelowna has a lot less action going on. It has slightly more affordability when it comes to home prices and slightly less when it comes to amenities. You know, you have your big box stores, you have your grocery stores, your hardware stores, you have options for restaurants. I mean, in terms of wineries, the West Kelowna Mount Boucherie Wine Trail, way better than anything that Kelowna offers. I mean, Kelowna has some good options in the southeast and Mission area, but the West Kelowna Wine Trail, if I'm going wine tasting in Kelowna, I'm not leaving town, I'm definitely hitting that up because they have some amazing options with great places to eat, great options in terms of wines, breweries, and cideries. And honestly, to me, better views. And it's always something I recommend checking out. West Kelowna also, like Kelowna, like we're going to discuss, has a diverse range of neighborhoods, from the most affordable neighborhoods in the Kelowna, West Kelowna area to high-end luxury estates, tons of options in terms of manufactured homes, townhouses, condos, affordable, family-friendly areas with single-family homes, and it has a ton of leasehold options, which if you're unfamiliar with leasehold, I'm not going to get into it. I have a ton of videos where I talk about this, but leasehold can be a fantastic option if you're looking to get some affordability on your place. And now quickly, before we get into anything else, the biggest downside that everyone's going to come up with West Kelowna is going to be the bridge that connects Kelowna and West Kelowna, and the traffic that you can hit in the morning or coming back from work, or even just any time of day during the holidays or summer. And you know what, that's the thing, it's an unavoidable thing. It's probably never going to be remedied. So honestly, it's one of the only downsides, and I would just say the major downside of living on West Kelowna. But if you're not having to commute every day, or you don't have to commute during those rush hour times, West Kelowna is an incredible option because, like I said, you do get a little more bang for your buck on this side. The median home price for this area is $895,000, and right now it's about $100,000 difference in terms of prices from Kelowna to West Kelowna. And some of the best things to do here, like I said, the Mount Boucherie Wine Trail is something I highly recommend checking out. Going swimming or hiking or biking at Callamore Park, or if you want to get really aggressive with biking, Smith Creek is an awesome option for downhill mountain biking. And West Kelowna also has some of the best and most affordable golf courses in the area, so that's definitely worth checking out. But let's take a little overview and I'll explain some of the areas in further detail. All right, so let us look at West Kelowna in the different areas. So let's just start off at the bridge. So you have two different areas at the bridge. You have West Kelowna Estates in this area, which has some crazy beautiful single family homes that give you incredible views of Lake Okanagan. It has amazing master plan communities like West Harbor down here. There's freehold leasehold options. They also have affordable stuff like manufactured homes in this area. And then you have the Lakeview Heights, which personally is my favorite area of West Kelowna. It's one of the largest. It runs along the water. This is where the Mount Boucherie wine trail is. You have vineyard estates up in this area, which to me is some of the nicest homes in West Kelowna. A really cool higher end community that's going to give you amazing views, some luxury custom built properties. And then of course you have Kelowna Regional Park in this area as well. So Lakeview Heights kind of has everything that I would be interested in, but it's definitely on the more expensive side of things in terms of neighborhoods for West Kelowna. Both of these are, and I think it's because, well, they have some beautiful properties with amazing views, but also they are the closest to the bridge, so they're going to give you the best access to beat the traffic and get over the bridge if you have to go to Kelowna proper. Now within a lot of these areas like West Kelowna Estates, you have kind of the sub neighborhoods like Rose Valley, which is a very popular area in West Kelowna, and then you have the Shannon Lake area, which to me is one of the best areas for families. That you have access to schools here. Very safe, peaceful neighborhoods with great community feels. Of course, you have Shannon Lake Regional Park and the Shannon Lake Golf Course, which is also nice. And that gives you also great access to the big box stores and amenities right off of Highway 97 here. The other two areas I want to quickly talk about are the most affordable areas in Kelowna and West Kelowna by far, and that is the Glen Rosa and West Bank areas. The big difference between these two is West Bank is going to have a ton of leasehold properties. West Bank downtown, this is kind of the downtown of West Kelowna in this area, so you do have great access to, you know, pharmacies, some shops, restaurants, breweries, gas station, convenience stores. That's West Bank is going to have better access to those things. It's going to have more options in terms of leasehold properties. It's going to have your condos, townhouses, single family homes. But if leasehold is not your thing and you want to stay away from that, then Glen Rosa is going to be an amazing option in terms of affordability for single family homes. Probably some of the best in the entire valley. You get space out here, you get a strong community feel, you have schools out here. Not a ton of amenities in Glen Rosa, but I mean, you're so close to, look at the distance to Walmart and the big box store, so that's not even a worry. But yeah, Glen Rosa, insane affordability. The only issue is, you know, if you're having to run into Kelowna every day, you are about as far as possible while still being in Kelowna as you can be, and traffic can get really bad in this area. But still, insane affordability. Great place to look for a starter home, or you're a first-time home buyer and really want to have a single family home but you're tight on budget. Glen Rosa would be my biggest recommendation to check out. So who is West Kelowna for? To me, it's for someone who wants to be in the major city, but maybe not right in the thick of things in terms of, you know, the hustle and bustle of the city life that Kelowna can have. And is also looking for a little more affordability. If they need to get to Kelowna, they're willing to take the nail on the head and go through that traffic if they're having to go through the rush hour. But someone, again, who's maybe willing to sacrifice a bit of location for price and wants maybe a little bit of a slower pace environment. Not crazy slow. Again, West Kelowna, it's not like it's far from Kelowna, but just not that downtown action that Kelowna can have. So to me, it's someone who wants to live in Kelowna with just their foot off the gas slightly. That's how I'd best describe it. Now let's end this by getting to the final and main area. All right, we are finally at the end, and lastly, we are going to talk about the biggest metropolitan area, the heart and center of the entire Okanagan, and that is Kelowna, British Columbia. So Kelowna, British Columbia is around 211 kilometers squared with a population over 160,000. It is the main city here in the Okanagan. You're about 45 minutes to Vernon, around 45 minutes to an hour to Penticton. Again, depending on traffic, depending where you are in Kelowna, where you're taking off from. And I'm not really gonna get into the things to do here or what Kelowna has, because it has everything. It is a major city. It has all the good things that come with a major city. Also some of the bad stuff that comes with living in a major city. You know, we have issues with homeless and crime, especially near that downtown core. But those are only certain areas, and Kelowna overall is a very safe city and a safe feeling city in my opinion. You have a diverse range of neighborhoods. You have the hustle and bustle of the city with a really fun downtown core. You have all the restaurants. You have incredible beaches along Lake Okanagan and great access to nature, hikes. You have awesome options in terms of real estate, from acreages, again, to affordable houses to luxury estates and everything in between. Like I mentioned earlier, Vernon has Silver Star, Kelowna has Big White. My preferred choice when it comes to the ski hills, that's just because Big White is a very special, beautiful area. You know, besides its amazing skiing and snowboarding, the Big White Village is so fun and vibrant and a must check out place when you're here in the winter. Now they have the bike park going in the summer. I don't mountain bike, but that's a great option for that. And they have some really cool events up there, like the Altitudes Festival, which has only been going a few years now, but is so much fun and such a blast. And that's, to me, what Kelowna is all about. It's about activity, vibrancy. We have tons of festivals going on throughout the year. We just finished up Denim on the Diamond last weekend. And I really can't say enough about Kelowna. Like, I love the Okanagan as a whole, but I can't really imagine myself living anywhere but Kelowna. And in terms of things to do, really it's a lot shorter of a list to name the things Kelowna doesn't have. Like, it has all the benefits of a major city while having all the beauty of living in nature surrounded environment and everything in between. You got the biking, you got the boating, you got the golfing, you got the wineries, you got the downtown restaurants and bars and nightclubs and breweries. And the thing that shocked me the most about Kelowna is nature is literally, like, you hear people say nature's at your fingertips. Kelowna nature is at my fingertips. I walk out my front door right now, I'm 30 seconds before I'm on a hiking trail. I'm 10 minutes before I'm driving up atop of a mountain or in the backcountry somewhere. So I really do feel like this area has it all. That's why it's so desirable. That's why real estate is very high here, because it is not just a destination spot for tourists in the summers, but especially with more people working from home, it's the place people want to spend the rest of their lives living. If you're going to live in Canada, you have the ability to work from home. Why not live in one of the most beautiful places, to me, in Canada? It has everything in terms of schools, from daycare, private options, elementary, middle school, secondary school. It has the UBCO by the airport. It has Okanagan College and a ton of private options as well. Now, I would say if you're looking at downsides towards Kelowna, the biggest is going to be the price of real estate. The median home price is $1 million here. So that just goes to show you that this lifestyle and this living definitely comes at a cost. Now, there are way more affordable options. Like, you look at certain neighborhoods and areas, you're going to get great affordable options for single family homes. Affordable in terms of Okanagan affordable. And then you're going to have, you know, condos, townhouses, 55 plus communities, manufactured homes, anything you can think of, Kelowna will have it. And honestly, every neighborhood here, like a lot of the places we've talked about, is just so unique and has its own different lifestyle that's going to suit it the best. So let's take a little overview of the city, and I'll briefly explain some of the core neighborhoods that make up the city. All right, so let's take a look at Kelowna. You see, here's West Kelowna, here's the Bennett Bridge that connects the two. And yeah, we are in the middle of the Okanagan. That's why it's called the Central Okanagan. So some of the notable areas and places to check out when you're in Kelowna. Honestly, I'm gonna do kind of a little quick breakdown of each area. Let's start north. So north here you have McKinley Landing. It's the northernmost neighborhood in Kelowna. It's almost out of the city. It gives you that unique kind of luxury lifestyle feeling like Lakestone does in Lake Country. I mean, there's some affordable options there as well, but you're right along the water in this community, and it's a very unique place and probably one of the least talked about neighborhoods when people talk about Kelowna. So something to consider and check out if you're here is get a feel for that area. I mean, you definitely feel out of town a bit, but it's very unique and very cool and worth taking a look at. It's going to give you great access out to Lake Country, and of course you are close to the University of British Columbia and the Kelowna International Airport here. And you're going to see a lot of this when we're going through the city. There are a ton of golf courses, incredible golf courses throughout the city. This is the Bear and the Quail, but there are a ton of options for golf if you're a golf enthusiast for sure. Now, as you go south from McKinley, you're going to go to one of the most popular areas in Kelowna, and that's the Glenmore area. So Glenmore is divided into two areas. You have Glenmore Old Glenmore here, we call that an Old Glenmore, and then you have Glenmore North in this area. This is a very family friendly area, tons of single family home options, but honestly every single neighborhood has a diverse range of options for condos, townhouses, and single family homes. One unique thing about the kind of center part of Kelowna is Glenmore has some great options for 55 plus communities, kind of in this area here. So if you're someone looking for that single family gated 55 plus community, Glenmore and Kelowna South are going to be your best options for that. Here you have Dilworth Mountain, which is almost like a subsection of Glenmore. Some high-end houses, some incredible views, and these two areas are going to give you the best access to anywhere in the city, from downtown to the highway to the mall area to out to the Rutland area to the university. It's the best access in the city. And then before we move on, there is also Glenmore's high-end area, and that's the Wilden area up in here. One of the most expensive areas in the city, and it's beautiful. A lot of high-end modern builds there. If that's what you're looking for, that's going to be a great option for that. Now you have Kelowna North and Kelowna South divided by the highway. It's going to give you the best options in terms of access to downtown and the amenities. The majority of the downtown lifestyle amenities are going to be in the Kelowna North section. You have the waterfront here, you have parks all along the waterfront, restaurants, grocery stores, cafes, bars, breweries, all in the Kelowna North area. Housing options, if you've seen any of my videos, I talk about the single family homes here are not the best bang for your buck because they are priced very high because of their development potential. So you'll see some really old small homes going for $1 million to $1.5 million, and you'll have no idea why. It's because of their redevelopment potential. People buy them like developers and they will knock them down and turn them into townhouses. Kelowna is really trying to densify, and this is one of its core neighborhoods. Kelowna South, you heard me mention it earlier, the most diverse neighborhood in terms of really everything, real estate, things to do. You have 55 plus communities, you have luxury homes along the water, you have single family home, affordable options, condos, townhouses, you have great access to parks, and then you have the best access to the hospital right here. To me, and then you have Pandosy, which Pandosy has tons of restaurants, bars, little shops and that. So I really feel like Kelowna South is one of the most important neighborhoods in our area. As you travel down, you're going to get into the Mission. So you have Lower Mission and then the Upper Mission, which also encompasses Kettle Valley. And Lower Mission, one of the most popular neighborhoods in Kelowna. It's kind of like the peak of luxury. Both missions are the peak of luxury, where Upper Mission, you're getting the a lot of new custom builds and just huge homes with incredible views of the lake, where Lower Mission, you can get some incredible custom builds and new builds as well, but you're going to the Lower Mission and spending a pretty penny if you're wanting this luxury waterfront real estate, which Lower Mission has the best options in terms of that, and some really incredible estates and properties there. Along with the Upper Mission, you have the small, cute little area of Crawford, which is like this peaceful, really a little bit out of the way, but suburban, small neighborhood that has good size lots with a lot of custom builds. It's not a cookie cutter neighborhood. Usually every lot there I think is a half acre or more, so you get some space here. But if you're really looking for space, you're looking in the Southeast Kelowna area. It's one of the largest areas in the city. My personal favorite in terms of, it's just sprawling, beautiful land, some crazy properties. You get some wineries back here, golf courses. It has a lot of diversity here. You're surrounded by the nature. You have Myra Bellevue Provincial Park here. You have the Trestles all the way up here. This is where you'd access the Trestles. You have Gallagher's Canyon Golf Course, where you can live around the golf course. But I think it's just a really unique and desirable area of town to live in, especially if you're looking for space. If you don't want to see your neighbors, not that I have amazing neighbors, but if you're looking for space and to build your custom dream home, it's probably going to be in Southeast Kelowna. Now, lastly, we'll quickly talk about, what I think to be the best investment in terms of real estate, and that's going to be the Rutland area. So you have Black Mountain up here. Black Mountain is like luxury Rutland essentially. You're up on the hill, you get the crazy views, you get custom builds, you get a lot more new builds in this area. Black Mountain Golf Club, like I said, there's golf courses everywhere. And you have the best access from Black Mountain to get to Big White. Where is Big White? Sorry, I always gotta make my way down here. Big White Ski Resort, which again, world-class ski resort, an amazing place to check out in the winter. But then you have Rutland, and Rutland, like I said, it definitely has a stigma to it from people who've lived here a long time and have experienced Rutland go through its changes as kind of like a rougher area. Now Rutland is almost like its own city within Kelowna. It has every amenity you could ask for. It has all the schools, parks, shops, restaurants, grocery stores, and it is the most affordable neighborhood in Kelowna. You get some great options here for single family homes on the affordable side, places with suites, and there's a lot of redevelopment going on and restructuring of this area. So I think in terms of investment or even just getting into the market, Rutland is probably going to be your best option for that. Not to mention, it has the access to Big White. It has great access to downtown. You want to get out of the city or go to the university, Rutland is a great option for that too. So I know I kind of went over that quick. You can check out my video at the end of this where I do an entire tour of all of Kelowna, but that gives you a little bit of an overview of Kelowna and what it has to offer. Now, who is Kelowna for? To me, Kelowna has got to be for that person who's looking for, you know, the city living while having that access to nature. Someone who's a little greedy, I guess you would say, because you get the best of both worlds. You have the lifestyle that allows you to be healthy, fit, go outside, experience nature, some of the most beautiful mountains, lakes, and scenery that you can experience, while also having all of the big city amenities, that hustle and bustle lifestyle if that's what you choose, and the action that goes year round. So to me, Kelowna, you want to live here because you're someone who wants it all, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. That's why I love living here. But as you can see, all the areas in the Okanagan are so unique and so diverse, and there is something for everybody. There's going to be areas that work for your lifestyle, and there's going to be areas that absolutely don't work for your lifestyles. But if you're not familiar with the area, you don't know that. So my biggest recommendation is to reach out to me, talk to a relocation specialist and local expert to find out what's going to be the best option for you. And in order to do that, you got to reach out. You got to call me, text me, email me at the information on the screen right now, in the description down below, and pinned in the comments. Call me anytime. We'll set up a call. We'll have a conversation. No commitment to do anything, but at least I can maybe set you up, point you in the right direction, and help you out. So when it comes time to make the move or to purchase that property, you feel confident and that transition process goes as smooth as possible. And stick around to the end of the video to get linked to a playlist where I do a more in-depth overview of each specific area that we talked about today. And whether you're new to my channel or you're returning, if you haven't yet, make sure you subscribe to stay up to date with all the latest information on lifestyle, what it's like to live in the Okanagan. Again, my name is Boholij, your Okanagan professional and relocation specialist. This is my channel, Living in Kelowna BC, and I will catch you in the next video.